So we've got 3 boys. One is 5, one is 3, and one is on the way. He'll be here soon. And every day is sort of an active adventure. We're going to be paying for 3 children in daycare at the same time. And I can tell you it's not cheap.
And that does impact our decisions and what else we buy in the economy, where we go on trips, what else we can spend, if we can afford a larger house. And all of those decisions often hinge on how much we're going to be paying in childcare.
You know, one of the first things people told us was get on wait lists and look for childcare. It's not easy. For our second and now third child, it was more of a discussion of can we find childcare as a part of the discussion of do we want to have another child.
Having quality childcare that's reliable and consistent has impacted my career tremendously and our family life. It means that I can be fully present, not only for my husband, my children, but also for my team at work. That when I show up to both places, they get the best version of me. It means I can participate in the Anchorage economy, do my work, and still have special time with my family. Woo! Good job, Augie!
I think everybody knows that routine really matters for kids. And so one of the things that's been great for our family is that our kids know. They know when breakfast is, when nap time is, when lunch is. They've got consistent teachers that care about them, and they know what they're going to be learning and what they're going to be doing.
So the demand for childcare in Alaska far exceeds the number of spaces available at centers and at homes throughout the state. This impacts everyone from urban to rural, and beyond that, so many families find that the cost of childcare in the state is just beyond reach for them.
When I think mixed delivery, I think options and sort of flexibility for families, right? It means that we don't necessarily have to struggle to figure out and match all the start times and all the end times. Somebody can be in before and after care for kindergarten or for elementary school. Somebody else can be in regular infant care or regular toddler care. And we can figure out the balance of things that works for our family.
Childcare in Alaska is expensive because it's expensive to have a facility, to pay for utilities here, to pay for food services, to pay for insurance, which is something people don't often think about. All of these costs add up. Meanwhile, you have providers trying to make this service available to families at a cost that they can actually bear. And all of those factors have contributed to make it a very challenging situation for families and for teachers who we entrust our most precious resource to.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Monica Garcia Ichuak. I am the Threads board president, which is such an honor. I also wear the hat of a program officer at the Rasmussen Foundation. On behalf of the board of directors and everyone at Thread, welcome to the Threads 5th Summit, the economic impact of early care and learning. Quality childcare creates futures. Seeing so many familiar faces in the room and online, this is being streamed, just demonstrates the dedication to Thread's mission and your dedication to Alaska's children and families. A special thank you to all the elected officials who have joined us today. They are in the room. If you wouldn't mind just waving so that we can give you a thanks. This is important that you are joining us today. We need the right people in the right room at the right time to make these things happen. Childcare is very significant in our community. It's extremely important to me, not only as a former educator, but also as a mother. I believe the right childcare and education begins at birth. When we plan to prioritize children and families, we will build strong, healthy communities and vibrant communities. If we invest now in our childcare, it will be the right start for future generations. Alaska is a very special place, and when we want something done, we will get it done. We are proud to call Alaska home. Before I begin, I also want to start with a land acknowledgement to recognize the place in which we live and work. This place grounds us. We want to acknowledge the Alaska Native Nations upon whose ancestral lands we reside. We live, we work, we play on this traditional homeland of the Eklutna Dena'ina, and today and every day we celebrate their culture, their language, and their traditions. We pay respects to the elders, not only in the past, but in the present and in the future. They are the ones who guide us and that help us. And with much gratitude, we thank them. We have a great program for you today. There's lots to see, lots to do, and lots to listen about. Let's share some housekeeping rules so everybody knows where you're going and what's going to happen for the day. Our plan today is really to include a lot of listening and hearing from a variety of speakers. And we also want to hear from you. Collective collaboration happens when consensus is built. We will have ways for you to ask questions, to participate, to engage, and we want you to show up as your authentic selves because we know that your voice is a leader. There's a leader in every chair. So along the way, take notes. There's pens and papers on your table. Come together in community. We will also take one formal break at 11:15, which will also provide lunch. But throughout the summit, we want you to take care of yourselves. There's coffee, there's food, there's restrooms outside the hallways and to your left. So we just want to make sure that you are comfortable and taking care of yourself. For those early childhood educators with us, and who are getting training credit and attending today's meeting, be sure to check in with the thread table just outside the doors to your left and make sure you sign in so that you're registered and you get credit. We encourage you to follow Thread on all of the social media platforms. We are a very robust and busy organization. There's never a dull moment. This work is day in and day out. And then you can take pictures, chat with your friends, and hashtag it, if you would, at hashtag Thread Summit 23. So this is Thread's 5th Economic Impact Summit. After the first summit in 2015, the board prioritized events like today around childcare to keep this conversation elevated and at the forefront of our conversations and within our communities and with our partners. So we're coming together today to do most of this work, which is never ending, but for positive change throughout Alaska and for future generations. When we met in December of 2021, we gathered virtually. We were in the midst of a pandemic. We would have called this a super spreader, if you remember. And we talked a lot about how we were working together to stabilize childcare, where those opportunities were, both at the national level with the Build Back Better effort, but also we shared conversations around the local and the national levels and that with the state lawmakers, where their interests lie, how we can come together, how we can fill the gap. How we can work together to make this sector look different and to figure out what's next. How are we actually moving forward together? Well, the federal legislation did not pass. A lot has happened in the last 2 years. And today we're going to hear more about those trends and the status of childcare. It's no surprise that our childcare continues to struggle. Day in and day out, we hear those stories. They're real. However, we do believe now that now is the time. Now is the time to create the future for a more quality childcare system within Alaska. And actually, we must do this work. It's not really an option. Our agenda is created not to only inform you, but to also inspire you. For all of you who have joined us as change agents in this work, together, I am confident that we can create a brighter and a sustainable future for our Alaska's children. And that will happen through mutually beneficial partnerships, through creative, bold innovation, for taking risks, and more importantly, for a call to action. Coming together like this takes collaboration, and the pure definition of collaboration is action of working together to create something. And I know everybody in this room are the right people at the right time to do this work. This event would not be possible without Thread's exceptional partners. We would like to quickly run through all of our different levels of sponsors, and you can hold your applause to the very end. So we have our superhero sponsors, the State of Alaska Health Department and the U.S. Department of Education Administration for Children and Families. Our believer sponsors, the Alaska Children's Trust and the Anchorage Daily News. The supporter sponsors, Denali Daniels Associates. Our movers and shakers sponsor, the Alaska After School Network, the Alaska Mental Health Trust, Alaska Public Media, Altman Rogers Company, ConocoPhillips of Alaska, Credit Union One, First National Bank, the Juneau Economic Development Council, the Matsu Health Foundation, the Rasmussen Foundation, and United Way of Anchorage. And our best friend sponsors, the Alaska Club, the Anchorage Association of the Education of Young Children, Anchorage Sand and Gravel, Bright Road Wealth Management, Halcyon Consulting, Hmong Cultural Center of Alaska, the Institute of Childhood Preparedness, and the Jordan Marshall Alaska. So thank you to all those sponsors. When Alaska wants something done, they come together to do it. So please join me in thanking all of those sponsors. We can't do this work without them. And with no further ado, I am honored to introduce Stephanie Berglund, the CEO of Thread, and who continues to inspire me in this work and will kick us off for the remainder of the day. So thank you.
Good morning. As Monica said, I'm Stephanie Berglund, the CEO of Thread, and I am so excited to welcome you today and to be with you all here in person. Thank you for your time and attention to the important issue of childcare. Monica shared that there's been a lot happening in the last few years, and one of those things is the new Governor's Childcare Task Force. Governor Dunleavy announced by administrative order a new childcare task force in April of this year. And Thread is so happy to see this highlighted conversation about childcare, and we have hopes to see brighter policy and funding, all to see a stronger support for this important sector. I am proud to serve as a member of the task force, and together with 12 other members have been actively meeting to inform recommendations for the governor. We're so thankful for the State of Alaska partnership and the governor's office leadership. Thread's primary partner in our work is the State of Alaska and the Child Care Program Office, and we're happy to acknowledge them and the Department of Health as one of our superhero event sponsors. Thank you. We are joined today by Lieutenant Governor Nancy Dahlstrom, and she's also joined with the Department of Health Commissioner Heidi Hedberg, and we're delighted to welcome the Lieutenant Governor to say a few words. Thank you.
Good morning. It's really a pleasure to be here, and I'm especially happy to see so many people in attendance. This is the 5th summit for Thread, and that's pretty amazing. A lot of things start and they go once or twice and then they kind of peter out. We are here, we have so many things in common. We know that childcare is absolutely critical in promoting healthy development of our young children and supporting working parents. Research shows that high quality childcare can positively affect children's cognitive, social, and emotional skills, and it also prepares them for school readiness, lifelong learning, and to be successful future workers, leaders, and citizens. Childcare is critical for the empowerment of families. It enables parents to work, study, or pursue other activities that improve their economic and social status. And it also can reduce the stress and the burden of balancing family and work opportunities. You know, I know personally about the stress that can come with childcare decisions. I remember needing to be, my children are all grown now and have their own families, but I remember when they were younger and needing to make decisions on childcare. And my decisions included everything from, am I living close to a school? Does the school have aftercare programs? Is it close enough to where I live so that they could walk to school because I needed to be at work before that? Can I afford to live in that neighborhood? And I also remember being sick to my stomach many days until I got that phone call after school that they were home and they were safe and the door was locked. And obviously they were of an age that it was legally okay that they were there, but it's still, any parent knows you still have those thoughts and those worries. But childcare is beneficial for the prosperity of our society. It helps drive economic growth across all sectors by increasing parents' workforce participation and productivity. And it's important because it's also an opportunity to promote social cohesion and diversity by supporting the integration of children from different backgrounds and cultures. But despite the importance of quality childcare, many families still face challenges accessing it due to the expense and due to the availability. The cost of quality childcare and the shortage of licensed care facilities is a struggle that many parents across the country are facing, but especially in Alaska, which is what we are addressing here today. And it's urban and rural parents are grappling with this. This is why the services that are provided by THREAD, which is Alaska's Child Care Resource and Referral Center, are so extremely vital. THREAD does great work connecting parents to child care resources and supporting the child care workforce through the SEED program, which is the System for Early Education Development. And it's also why it's so important to have gatherings such as this that bring together businesses, elected officials, and I'm so happy to see so many elected officials that are currently serving and have formerly served here, and the people that took a time away from their job or even their childcare business to be able to be here with us. But community leaders are here, and that's wonderful because it takes everything. It takes all of us coming together, talking about the economic and the social benefits of early learning in Alaska to be able to make change. Alaska legislators know how important this is, and I want to acknowledge, you're going to hear later today from Representative Julie Colomb, but she has a bill in the House. It's House Bill 89. If you're not familiar with it, I would encourage you to go online to the state website and read it, or also talk with Julie and her office. But she's working on solutions through proposed legislation, and that's how we get big things taken care of. Both she and Senator Lukey Tobin serve as members of the governor's task force on child care. Our administration knows the importance of this issue, and so we established the task force on child care to develop the plan to improve the availability, the affordability, and the quality of child care that's available throughout Alaska. So I want you to know that this task force that was created aligns perfectly with the governor's Healthy Family Initiatives, and that is so extremely important with him. If you speak with Commissioner Hedberg, I'm sure she would tell you, Healthy Family Initiatives, Healthy Family Initiatives. She's probably heard it. She probably dreams about it, hearing it over and over and over. When she sees him, she's probably like, oh, let me say it before he says it, you know? How are we on our Healthy Family Initiatives? But we recognize that strong families are the foundation for a healthy society and a vibrant economy. So the task force is comprised of subject matter experts who are consulting with relevant stakeholders, and they are tasked with comprehensively addressing child care challenges statewide. The first report is due to the governor's office on December 31st, and this is going to focus on background checks, licensing, and the actual state of the workforce. The second and final report is due July 31st, 2024 to the governor, and this will focus on access, quality, and the subsidies. Each of these reports is going to have meaningful and actionable recommendations, and I personally am looking forward to reading them. And I will tell you, I don't look forward to reading every single task force report. Some of them are just boring as can be, but this one is so critical to the health and welfare of our state, the physical health, the mental health, and welfare of our children and families. So these actions and all the actions and work that you are doing through your commitment makes it so that I know that we are going to make strides to ensure that every family has access to affordable, high-quality childcare. The people that will benefit from this is everybody. Our economy and our society will benefit, parents will benefit, and most importantly, our children will benefit. And what are children? They are our most valuable asset. They will benefit from this. So I want to thank you again for being here, for setting aside in your busy lives. And I hope that it's a wonderful, productive, and meaningful summit today. I love the way that when we started out, there was mention about lots of listening. I think listening with open hearts, minds, is the key to solving so many things, knowing where people are coming from, where they've been, what the actual problems are, because areas of our state are so different. Some of the challenges in rural are way different than urban and vice versa. And it's through listening that's going to allow us to come up with solutions for this. So again, thank you very much for being here. The governor and I are thrilled that you're meeting and look forward to finding the results. So thank you.